This little island's about to change forever, and no one even realizes it yet. Guys, I didn't come here for a vacation. I came here because something very expensive is being built. And where infrastructure goes, money flows. What's happening here in Roatan reminds me an awful lot of what I've seen happen in Orlando, Florida, when Disney showed up. Look, I don't just fly to random places. I come on a mission. I'm looking for investments wherever I go. I've been doing this for over 27 years. We've bought and sold over 3,000 houses. There's always a time when development is happening that the locals haven't even realized what's going on underneath their feet. And that's what's going on in Roatan right now. Now, let me tell you how I heard about Roatan and why we came. My friend Jeff Hazlett called me, told me what he was doing on this island. He's marketing for one of the largest investors and developers in all of Honduras. And guys, when Jeff Hazlett calls, I listen. He is a world-renowned entrepreneur and investor. He's the former Celebrity Apprentice judge. Look, I've heard of Roatan before. I have other friends who've actually invested here. But Jeff was telling me what was happening with the infrastructure, what was going on with the government changing. There's a new president in town, and things are about to get real. And so, when Jeff told me to come, we jumped on a plane. We call it flying for dollars. We've done other content about that. This is one of our favorite things, and we're going to do more of it as we're looking for investments, not just in our own backyard anymore. We've done lots of things in Florida and up and down the east coast of the U.S. and even in Puerto Rico. And now we're going to expand the footprint, and we're going to get outside of the U.S. in 2026. Come along for the ride. Like and subscribe to the channel if you like real estate investing content and if you want to learn about exciting new markets. That's what Roatan represents. And it's not just the government that's going to invest in infrastructure. It's also the cruise ships. And guys, the same thing. Where the cruise ship goes, the money follows. So that's 2 for 2. We got big development in the infrastructure, and we've got big developments coming with the cruise ships. There's already 2 cruise ports, and oftentimes today in Roatan, Monday through Friday, you'll see up to 7, sometimes even 8 cruise ships in port at one time. And they're going to expand. At least 2 more cruise ports. So they're going to be able to bring cruise ships to the other side of the island, the east side of the island. And that's where we came. That's what we were doing here, is looking at all of the development that's happening in Roatan. Was once on the west coast. Now it's moved to the east coast. And guys, the east coast, it's going to be bigger and better. The infrastructure is better. It's more thought out. It's just going to be flat out amazing. It's a rich person's playground. And it's going to be a place where you could make some money and have a hell of a lot of fun. So this developer that we met, he's investing right in line with where these new cruise ports are going to go on the east side. And we've seen other people like our friend Sharif Medawar take advantage of this situation in Old San Juan, where he found out where the cruise ships were going to land and then just bought everything that was an easy walk or drive in the path of where the cruise ship people would go. This guy, Scott, he's the big developer, and he's doing the same thing. We like to see good ideas get replicated in other places, and that's what's happening here in Roatan. And on top of all of that, they're going to upgrade the airport. And I'm not just talking about a renovation on the airport. They're going to expand runways so that bigger planes can land. They're going to be bringing in international flights direct from Europe and direct from the mainland USA like never before. I'm talking about the big jets, the 777s, the ones that are going to bring piles of people with loads of cash. Hey guys, all of this is only possible because the politics on the island and in Honduras have changed. They just had an election and there's a new sheriff in town. Well, the new president, Nasiri Tito Esafora. Our friends, they call him Poppy. His platform, it's simple. He's pro-business, pro-infrastructure, which is a really big deal. I've talked about it already a couple times. And he wants to provide legal certainty. I'm not betting on politicians. I never have. But money follows concrete. That's infrastructure, roads, runways, seaports. All of these things indicate to me that there's about to be a big shift for the island. Here's what I saw that kind of shocked me. It's not that the island of Roatan is beautiful. Of course, we've been there on a cruise ship before. We knew that. We knew that the reefs off of Roatan are really the best in the world. So the diving is next level. The snorkeling is out of this world. The sea life is crazy. The fishing, crazy, crazy, crazy. And we love to fish. What really shocked me is how early it still is. I thought the It's a small island. It's only 55 miles wide by like 8 miles long, I think, something like that. You can Google check me. But the idea for me was that it would all have been played out, because when I was there on the west side, that's what I saw. Lots of already built stuff. What I saw on the east side, where we were this trip, was that it's super early. Our friend who was showing us around his multi-million-dollar developments in spot after spot, he's buying hills and mountains and then carving out paradise from them. I have had a vision my entire life for renovating ugly houses. We like to take zombie houses on the island of Puerto Rico, fix them up and make them the best looking house on the planet, and then sell them for retail prices. That's what we're really good at. And I have a vision for that kind of stuff. I was amazed, though, how this guy has a vision for looking at a hill and saying, I'm going to put a shopping mall here, and then I'm going to put houses above that, and then above that I'm going to have a hospital, and above that I'm going to have apartments. To me, it just looked like a big mound of dirt. And I've seen it before. I've never had that vision. This is the first time where I was able to go around with a developer, a guy with a true gift for the vision, and not only see what his vision is, but then he would take me somewhere else where he'd executed the vision, where he had carved out the land and turned a mountain from something that was just a big hill full of jungle and trees, and put houses there and put shops there, and everything that he said in one place that it was still a hill has become reality on another mountaintop. Crazy to be able to witness that, and amazing to be able to see. As a guy who thinks he's got a vision, I've never had a vision like this before. And this guy, he's got a vision for Roatan. So for several years now, I've had the idea that I wanted to invest internationally. And Roatan gives me that chance to step outside of a comfort zone and maybe buy something in an entire other country. And why do we want to do that? I'm looking to do that for several reasons. The first reason that I want to invest outside of the United States, and maybe Roatan will be the first place that we stop, but it won't be the last place that we go, is that we want to have diversification. The world has gotten small, and it's pretty easy for you and I to go other places and see things that are being developed where we could make some money and get involved. And it doesn't cost an arm and a leg either. Imagine going on a vacation, having all of the things that come with that, all of the memories, all of the pictures, all of the fun with your family and friends, thinking about what it would be like years from now when you look back at those pictures. But also, along the way, you make an investment and it pays you back maybe 50 or 60 times what your investment was to go on vacation, because you went with an intention of investing. That's our idea in a nutshell. We want to be able to go places time and again that we really like to be in, and we want to make some money along the way. Other people might want to invest internationally because they don't like the politics in the States, and they're worried that if the wrong person gets elected here in the US, that they'll have to leave. We saw Rosie O'Donnell do this when Trump got elected, and I think that that's a trend that could continue. And it doesn't matter which side of the political aisle you're on. We're pretty polarized in the US, so we both sides could agree on this. Having some diversification, a place to go, a landing spot, if you will, that's not a bad idea. And guys, this is something I picked up as I've started to hang out with some really wealthy people. So I've got some pretty rich friends, and they'll tell me to a man that you don't want to just have all of your eggs in one basket. So even though we love the US and we're never planning to leave, having a footprint outside of the US and investments elsewhere, that just makes good business sense. And that isn't coming from me, Robbie Crager, the Flip-Flop Flipper. That's coming from people like Jeff Hazlett, people who have done super, super well. I'm talking about centimillionaires and billionaires. And when they tell you something, the success they've had, well, at least for me, I want to listen and pay attention. What are some other reasons why you guys might want to invest internationally? Leave me a comment. Let's talk about it. This is a conversation, and this is something that we're thinking about doing and actually planning to do. But why would you guys want to get involved? Or wouldn't you? Maybe you think it's a terrible idea. Tell me, what are your thoughts? Hey guys, if you're going to invest in this way, obviously there's going to be some risks. We first invested off of the mainland USA in the island of Puerto Rico. And the reason that we went to Puerto Rico is because it's still part of the United States of America. So we eliminated things like political risk and title risk. But those two things they're real if you're going to be in a place like Honduras. While right now, there's a good administration coming into power and we think that it's safe, one thing that I like about Roatan and Honduras is that you do get title to a property. So it's not a 99-year lease like some other places around the globe. I like to own things. I think that separates us from building true generational wealth to those people that are never going to have generational wealth. If you're leasing it, you're not building wealth, at least not generational wealth. So there's also the risk of currency. Although Honduras is mightily tied to the dollar, there's always an inflationary risk. Honduras, their money is tied a lot to the dollar, but we don't know what's going to happen with their currency. I'm not even familiar with their currency. The last risk that I'll talk about is this idea of exit risk. So yeah, you might be able to go and buy something in Honduras and get title to it, have ownership of it. Maybe you can even rent it out and make some money. But what's going to happen years from now if you want to sell it? Is it going to be easy to sell? Is it going to be tough to sell? There's a little bit of risk there. I'll tell you right now what I think. I think that we're going to put some money down on this beautiful penthouse condo that we're buying. And by the time it's built, it's going to double in value. We'll have made $1 million for our efforts to come to this island, and it won't have cost us a ton of money to be out of pocket. We're going to go under contract on something like this condo that we want to buy, and it's going to take a year or so for it to be built. And once it's finished, it's going to have a lot more value than it does today while it's still a dream. Do you see what I'm going with there? What do you guys think of that? Leave me a comment. So I'm pretty bullish on Roatan, and it's unexpected, guys. I flew there because I wanted to meet with my friend Jeff. I wanted to see what he was doing. But most of the time when I'm going places, I'm not going with the idea that I'm going to actually find something to buy, at least not on the first trip, the way that we did this time. I thought that I'd be able to go see some things being built, maybe think, there's not enough development going on, but I'm bullish on what's going on here. One, the guy who's developing this land, if he's not the biggest developer on the island, he's the second biggest. And that's one thing that's very nice too. He's not the only guy who's doing these kind of developments. So we looked at like a dozen of his developments, but we also went and looked at other people's developments that are very similar. And everywhere we go, we see the roads being paved. We see construction happening. I think you couldn't drive 15 feet without seeing a house being built or renovated or a mountain being cut into so that they could build a road or a road being poured. I couldn't tell you how many dump trucks full of dirt and concrete we saw go by during the short time that we were there. We were only there for a few nights, and we spent a whole bunch of time out on the water doing really fun shit like fishing and jet skiing and snorkeling. We got to do all of that stuff, but in between, we looked at real estate, which is what we love to do, and what we saw really surprised us. There's a lot going on, and it's all moving in the right direction. It all looks like the money is flowing, and if the money is flowing, that's a good time to get in. And I'm not telling anyone to go buy anything in Honduras. Guys, you have to do your own due diligence. You have to get comfortable with it. What I'm saying is that what I'm seeing looks good to me. I think that it's a good time to put my toe in the water. And, well, if you follow me, you know I don't ever put my toe in the water. I, generally speaking, jump in with both feet. And that's what we're going to do here as well. So here's the thing, guys. Keep this video. Save it. Look back at it 5 years from now and see if I was right. If I'm wrong, you can laugh at me. If I'm right, I'm going to be rich. If you want to follow where the smart money goes, subscribe to the channel. Because money's not the most important part of the deal. And neither is the one-eyed Rottweiler. Timing is.
A few moments later.
Guys, this is Baxter, my one-eyed Rottweiler, and it's hug time. This is something that we do every day. We love each other.
Good boy.
Baxter, are you subscribed to the channel?
Baxter's a star. What do you mean subscribed? He's part of it. You're part of it, aren't you, boy?